Is there anyone out there? If there is, go ahead and type hashtag live below to let us know you're watching it live, or hashtag replay below if you're watching this as a replay. Let me just check it's working and that we're live. Let me have a look. Oh, yeah, I can see we are live. It's working. Okay, that's brilliant. That's fantastic. Just type below, where are you dialing in from? Now, today is very special, actually. Today is a masterclass on yoga. And it's a masterclass not just on yoga, but if you want to learn yoga, number one, or number two, you're a yoga teacher already and you're kind of struggling with not glowing, but yoga teachers never struggle with glow, that's for sure. And you're struggling with growing your business. Oh, and you want to learn from an expert as to what they achieved. And today I do have an expert with me, and her name is Naushina Sheikh. She was born in Kolkata in India, known as the City of Joy, and then life happened and she moved to Mumbai. So she moved away from culture to like the busyness of the hub of the Bollywood city. And I think somewhere along the line, she learned yoga, but she didn't just learn yoga. She learned yoga. She learned it at master's level, PhD level, at a very, very high level. And this is what she does. She eats, breathes, sleeps yoga. And she's also built a business around mums to be as well. And so she teaches yoga teachers how they can grow a business, but she doesn't just do it in terms of the easier steps to grow the business. She shares her direct experience of what worked and what didn't work. But most significantly, she includes the aspects of energy. She includes the aspects of beliefs, because she's a coach, she's a hypnotherapist, she's an NLP practitioner, soon to be EFT practitioner as well, because she's completing her journey on that. So Naushina, firstly, welcome to this session on live on the couch with Dr. Rangana. Really lovely to have you over here. So Naushina, share a little bit with us, like what got you into yoga. I mean, look, why? Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's not something I would wake out of bed in the morning and think I want to do a PhD. Tell me, why yoga?
So, Ramna, thank you for having me here. It's a privilege having this conversation with you. And yeah, that's something which I get asked a lot, like why yoga? So yoga happened to me accidentally, to be very honest. So, like
Oh,
you mentioned, I moved to the city. I have been born in Kolkata. I've lived all my life in Mumbai. And my professionally, I've been a fashion stylist. So I've kind of worked with a lot of celebrities, Bollywood actors, fashion models, internationally, globally as well. And I've been doing that I did that for many years. And there was a time in my life where I was sitting in the front row of Fashion Week, and I just blanked out because I was burned out doing what I was doing. Yes, when you think of fashion, it sounds really glamorous, but it's not exactly that glamorous. It was pretty much like
yeah,
mining, a lot of hard work, and I was doing shoots day in and day out. And
yeah,
there was a time when I was burned out, exhausted, and I started questioning, what is my purpose? And
oh,
is this worth doing? Like, this is how I want to live the rest of my life. How am I
mm,
adding value to myself as well as people around you? And I felt it was somewhere at a very superficial level, where I was working on body in a way, but beautifying people externally. And that's when the editor of my magazine, she suggested that I get into yoga. And I just did it one summer and I got hooked. There was no looking back after that. I ended up doing teachers training. I, after that, pursued my
what got you
master's.
hooked about it? Like, what was it about yoga that got you? I want to be really honest with you, Naushina. Like, yoga isn't my most favorite activity. Okay. However, I'm always curious to learn, because I'd love to learn from you, in terms of what is it that got you hooked? You know, just guide me and those kind of tuning in. Like, how do we get hooked to yoga?
So thank you for your honesty. And because of your honesty, I would like to be honest as well over here. So I just enrolled in a summer workshop because I
Yeah.
respect my editor a lot. I was also thinking, why should I do yoga? Because I'm a trained ballet dancer and a trained contemporary dancer. So for me, yeah, so for me, yoga was, and I am also a blue belt in Taekwondo and I have studied Kalaripayat. So I was thinking yoga. Why I don't need to do like, oh God, I can just do much more advanced stuff. I came from that space where I was a fashion stylist, worked with celebrities, trained in dance, martial arts. I looked down upon yoga. I want to be honest because you shared that with me, and sort of that's helping me to be honest here. And it happened, transition happened on its own, organically, gradually. So the first thing which I learned when I was doing my yoga in that 1 month, by the end of that, my 1 month summer camp was I just got more grounded. I was more aligned and more connected with myself, and sitting there with everyone on the floor kept me grounded, and I learned a lot of humility. And that's when a lot of people who were conducting the camp, people who were part of the institution, each and every person, they came and they told me, you should consider becoming a yoga teacher. I was like, what's with them? Why? What? Not me. I am not made for this. Definitely the wrong person. And every single person, I was like, what are they seeing in me which I don't see in myself? I just went for it just for the sake of learning because I honestly love learning. I
But
am
then what got
always
you
studying.
hooked? So you loved learning, and then what got you hooked? Like something
And then
happened.
I went for a 1 year teacher's training because I wanted to learn. And while learning, I changed as a person by the end of the year. I was a different person altogether. So yoga is something, see, like for example, if you're doing something, it's like if you take an injection, you immediately get treated. You may see the difference, right? Yoga is not an injection.
Hmm.
It is something which happens over the period of time. For
Hmm.
me, it was that. It happened over the period of time in that 1 year. I changed as a person,
But
not
it
just
became your
physically, mentally.
identity, you know.
It
So how did it
became
become your
absolutely.
identity?
And that's when I realized actually what I did with fashion. Like I just and recently I was having a conversation with someone and she said, you're actually doing the same thing because fashion also you were just working with your body. Now you're working with body, mind, emotion, soul, everything. So it's a transition which happened for me as well. And I can see that I can beautify people internally, not just externally. And that was very powerful for me. And that's when, while I was studying my teacher's training course, I was still working, doing a lot of high end fashion work. And that's when I blanked out one fine day in the fashion week. And I was literally, I saw myself sitting at the crossroad where I am juggling between two things. Because while I was doing my fashion work, I was there, like socializing, doing with different kind of people. And the moment I would go down, doing my teacher's training school, I would sit on the floor and I would interact, and I became two different people. And that's when I had to make a choice. I chose to be the second person.
Wow,
So
that's
it took a
incredible.
lot of courage, but I
Inspiring
did that.
story. Yeah, that's an inspiring story. And so then what made you kind of enter the sort of mums to be field? Like what was the reason you chose that?
Yeah. So, like, that also honestly came to me because I started seeing a lot of people around me struggling in this area,
Hmm.
specifically moms to be, where they were going through burnout and they were also juggling between two lives: work,
Hmm.
home, pregnancy. And
Hmm.
that is something which I have gone through that transition. And a lot of people started approaching me. When I started, they seeked me, when they started seeking me as well. And that's when I realized that I could help. And once I started working with moms to be, I realized one very important thing is that if I'm working with moms to be, compared to I could do a lot of work. Like, for example, I could become a celebrity yoga teacher. I know a lot of celebrities who have, I have worked with them as well, and it was an easy way out for me. Or I could just continue doing corporate trainings, which I do as well. I do retreats. That is okay. I can do that. But when I work with moms to be, the the reason it makes me feel really, I'm very passionate about is because I know I can help transform the next generation. Because when you're pregnant at that point of time, for the baby's development, whatever you're teaching the child, whether you are practicing yoga or whether you're scrolling on your Instagram, the baby is learning. So for me, my program is designed in a way which helps in baby's development along with easing the pregnancy journey and making it safe for the moms to have a safe delivery. But along with that, there is a process where child's development also happens with yoga, Garbha Sanskar, coaching, therapy, etc. So that
That's
was
so
very
fascinating.
powerful.
That's incredible. Now, let me ask you this. So, your journey has been a journey from burnout to bliss, and you've also met other people on that journey. What's the reason you didn't specialize in burnout?
So, so that is something which it didn't fall for me. Burnout is something which I am able to help a lot of people when I'm doing other phases of my life as well. For example, when I'm helping people in the corporate sector, when I do corporate training, or when I do retreats, or when I work with moms to be, that happens. People who are burned out, anyways, they get help in that area. But for me, especially, it didn't call to me the way moms to me called to me, because that was something which was very powerful, where I could help create a legacy and change the next generation, and together we can build a better society. So that is
Mm.
something which was very powerful, and I took it up as a mission.
That's beautiful. And so then if there's any yoga teachers watching this right now, what advice would you give them in terms of getting their private practice going? Because you've created a sort of a whole area in this mums to be, in addition to running sort of general, regular yoga classes and doing corporate and celebrity work. So with the mums to be sort of segment in particular, what advice would you give people if they were to set something up?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Rangna. So when I see a lot of my friends who have sort of done teachers training with me, and they kind of ask me this, so I always, the thing which I always try to sort of explain it to them, if somebody needs a doctor, for example, and suppose you're having a toothache, would you go to a person who is like a small clinic just under your building, or you would look for the best dentist? Like, for God forbidden, something happens in the family and somebody is having a cardiac arrest, would you go to somebody who's a general physician, or would you look for a cardiologist or a heart specialist? So if you're a specialist, you create a certain authority where people can approach you, and accordingly you will get those people. And it's much better when you're a specialist and you can train yourself in that area, and accordingly you create an authority and a brand for yourself. That is something which I always sort of tell people, whoever come for me to grow your business. So everybody is a yoga teacher nowadays, like everybody is. How do you unique, how you unique from others if you're not a specialist? So
Sure,
how
that
you
makes a lot of
serve?
sense to develop a
Yeah.
specialism and then to have grow in that area. Now, in terms of your own kind of yoga classes that you do, so if someone wanted to kind of get in touch with you or attend your yoga classes, how would they do that?
Yeah, they can message me. I mean, like, since we are live over here, you can maybe comment below. We're in
Okay.
this live right now, comment below. And after the live session is over as well, you can comment, and I'll be happy to sort of connect with you and guide you in whatever you need. Whether it's, I have regular group classes, personal training, as well as if you're a yoga teacher and you need guidance in growing your yoga business and become a sole entrepreneur, you want to have a thriving business with ease, and without getting burned out, without getting into the loop of marketing, I'll be happy to guide you. If you're someone who is like a mom to be planning baby, I'll be happy to guide you. So just comment below, and we can connect.
That's
Absolutely.
really lovely. Naushina, your story is so inspiring, from Kolkata to Mumbai, from fashion designer to yoga advocate, and then having helped mums to be, and now helping yoga teachers as well. I wish you much, much success in your journey. Thank you for coming and joining us today and sharing your story with us. And for those of you
Thank
who
you.
joined, just type a me below if you want to be able to connect with Naushina. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rangna, for having me. Thank you.
It's a pleasure, an absolute pleasure.